Hi everyone, this is the beginning of my audition journey. I just took the USC Thornton School of Music DMA entrance exam. I did take the Rice one earlier, but I didn't film anything. I'm just filming this because I don't think I'm allowed to film anything else, and I'm probably not allowed to talk about it, so I'm just going to keep it confidential. But I'll just say this one for USC is an essay-based entrance exam that all DMA applicants take. So hopefully I pass. Fingers crossed. USC is my second choice now, so we'll see. Hello everyone. I just finished my audition and interview at UCLA. But that's not the end. I will be doing an entrance exam, which should last 45 minutes, and that is writing based, which I'm actually very happy about. I actually like writing essays now, especially essays on the spot. Behind me is the beautiful Royce Hall, super beautiful, the trademark building of UCLA. And then over here we have this beautiful water fountain. Because who says only USC has beautiful water fountains? So yeah, this will be interesting. I'm gonna say my audition I think went pretty well. And I got to play an original composition, so that was really fun. And so I had fun auditioning. Yeah. Hoping to get into UCLA, and then there's actually an organ inside Royce Hall. It's actually really, really beautiful. So, it'd be so fun to go here and have access to that and the organ at First Congregational, where the organ professor is organist in residence. All right, take care, everyone. Bye. University at the Shepherd School of Music. It's the day before my audition, and I'm just sort of here exploring before I get some practice time on the organ to set all my pistons and memory levels. I already received them from Professor Cowan. I'm just trying to figure out where everything is, so I'm ready to check in, I'm ready to audition, and have all the logistics out of the way. So, yeah. This will be exciting. I'm hoping to have a lot of fun doing this. Excited for the possibilities. We'll see what happens. I'm excited to play this organ. They're having the audition on their concert instrument on campus, the grand organ. And it's supposed to be a really wonderful synthesis instrument that was also built and worked on by Rosales Organ Co. And Rosales Organ Co. is actually based in Los Angeles, so I know them well. Alright, I'm gonna pull the courtyard out here. What a quaint little place. Actually mid-February, so it's been like half a month since my Rice audition. I realized I never talked about it afterwards, and that's because right after the Rice audition I basically was hanging out with my mom because my mom was there, and then I had to fly back here and then immediately resume classes and all my usual stuff. And then a week or two later I got flu, and so I was sick with that a few weeks ago, and that fever finally broke. So but I've still had this like lingering cough, and it's been like really annoying. But my Rice audition went fairly smoothly. He had me play all the repertoire that I brought just like straight through and didn't stop me anywhere, which was like, I didn't expect that. It's the same way they had me audition at USC a few years ago, when I auditioned at UCLA, he had me stop in certain places to save time, and that's usual. But the Rice audition was more like my audition at USC a few years ago, where he had me play everything all the way through, and I just had to focus on getting through all the repertoire regardless of what mistakes I made. And then he did point out like one note that I got wrong at the end, and now I like feel really bad. And that was in the Vierne, which I'm actually playing at the President's Day Organ Festival this Monday. So I have corrected that problem in my muscle memory. I will be playing that note correctly on President's Day, which is actually tomorrow. Wow. Okay. And then my Eastman audition was remote. I didn't feel like paying to make another trip. I had my remote interview at Eastman. I also didn't feel like traveling all the way out there. I had to submit a bunch of audition recordings. I thought I was only supposed to submit 30 minutes, but then Professor Higgs said, send it all, so I did. I sent like a whole bunch of audition recordings, and they hadn't got to it yet when they got to my interview yesterday, and they admitted that, and they were together, Professor Higgs and Professor Law were right here in a house together on the same screen, so it wasn't like there were two separate monitors. I've had that before. The two professors are on two different monitors, or there's a lot of professors on all these different monitors on Zoom, but they were together in person on one monitor, and it made it kind of easier and kind of simplified things. I liked that. And let them ask me questions, and then I asked a question I was a little curious about. And it was like short, it was like 20 minutes, but you know, they know me, they've heard me play before at the Eastman Summer Organ Academy in former auditions where I did not get into Eastman, so go figure. Who knows why. But they seemed excited to see me, but I'm not getting my hopes up because I've been deceived before, and I've been told, oh, we'd love to see you again, just to be rejected. So I'm like not getting my hopes up, and I'm sure I'll be rejected again. I'll be anticipating that rejection letter for that DMA, and I'll also be looking for a rejection letter from Eastman's MA in music leadership, where I'm sure they'll also find something that they just don't like about me. But that's okay, because I'd rather go to UCLA anyways. Okay, take care, everyone. Bye. I am walking back from Juilliard. I don't have high hopes for this one, but it's okay, really. So I'm applying to a lot of other schools. And I don't really like how cold it is. I've grown so cold-natured ever since I moved to California. I'm just gonna do my best, because like I know my family wants me to get into Juilliard, but with like all the DMA applicants, because there's 3. I think they only take a maximum of 2, so like, and the 2 that I'm up against are like from Rice and Yale, and they're like, people are favor them. They're favored on this side of the country. So I really just like don't have an advantage, but I'm at the point where I've come to terms with that, and I'm okay with it, because like I don't have to go to Juilliard. I know everyone says it's like the best school, but it isn't necessarily. At least not for me. Tomorrow an audition, but it's okay if my best isn't good enough, but I'm still gonna do my best. Okay. Take care, everyone, and have a good night.
watch a Juilliard audition. So I went in almost nervous, but like not so nervous that I couldn't play. The first movement of the trio sonata went really well. I decided to play the trio sonata first because Professor Jacobs asked what I wanted to play first, and I said the trio sonata, and I started with the first movement. He had me play all the way through that, and that went like really strong. And then the second movement, I had a memory slip. Suddenly it was just like I couldn't remember what I was supposed to be playing, and so I had to like jump, sort of make something up, and to like kind of jump ahead to the C major flourishes, and that's why I botched my audition. And I'll tell you the rest when I get to Central Park. Here I am at Central Park, and I didn't realize that it would be so dark, but alas, here we are. I better come here during the day. It's probably a lot more beautiful. There's the moon. Anyways, I'll just go ahead and talk about the rest of my audition. So after that big memory slip that I had, Professor Jacobs, actually, first I recovered and then got to the C major flourish. I got to the recapitulation and Professor Jacobs stopped me, and I was relieved. By the way, when professors stop you during an audition in the middle of it, it means that it's not a reflection of your skills. It means the time is of the essence, and they don't have time to hear your complete audition repertoire. So they have to cut you off or stop you in the middle of certain pieces so that they can stay on schedule. Because Juilliard has a lot of applicants overall. So then, anyways, back to my audition. He heard a little bit of the third movement, and I had a small memory slip there, but thankfully it was like right in a memory post, so I was able to just get back on. And then he stopped me a little while later after I had played some stuff very strongly and expressively. And then he said, "What do you want to play next?" And I said the Reger Pascalia. And I told him that I didn't have everything memorized, and so a current Juilliard student was assigned to be my page turner. So she came up to turn my pages, and I felt a lot more confident with the music. Then he said, I'm not going to hear everyone dance, which was the one I spent a lot of time practicing, was worried about. He said, I'm going to hear at the ballet. I'm like, oh gosh, well, I better do my best. That's like what I was thinking inside. So I did that, and I began playing. And I was just like, you got this, you remember this, you've been working on it for over a year. So I just remember the line, remember the lyricism. I tried to be very song-like and lyrical. As I was playing at the ballet, I wanted Professor Jacobs to think of himself being at a ballet when he heard the piece. And somehow I managed to get all the notes right. I'm not sure how that happened, but just because I did some pieces really well, it doesn't mean my audition wasn't botched. And it doesn't mean that I passed the audition. He wasn't able to tell me anything. I'm going to be getting an email tonight on whether or not I passed to the final round, which consists of an interview for the DMA committee and an entrance exam that is oral. So they're going to ask me questions, and then I have to answer in front of them by mouth, to the best of my ability, questions on music history. And I'm not going to find out whether I get to do that or not. It's either I'm going to get to do that, or I'm going to be rejected tonight, just flat out rejected. And that email's gonna come 11 p.m. or so. And I'll update you on that, since it's obviously part of my audition experience. But I think he has to hear all the DMA applicants and then like all the auditions for the day. Then he can decide, which DMA applicants to recommend. This is very unique, obviously, that DMA applicants have to advance to a final round. But he wasn't like Dr. Bull, who's just like, I recommend you for mission. No, it's just like, you gotta wait and see. he asked me like one question. There was another guy there, like he told the other guy about how he met me at the Art Institute, and then he wanted to know why I wanted to go to Juilliard, and I kind of went off on a tangent. I probably should have said I want to go to Juilliard so I could study with Professor Jacobs, right? Like that would have been the best thing to say, but instead, like, I just let my emotions get the best of me, and I just like played hard on my versatility and said like, well, I'm a scholar artist and I have all these interests, and I like how Juilliard's DMA program is like, it fits that, and so I think Juilliard would be a good fit for me, which isn't true. Just say it. Oh my gosh. Okay, but that's what I said. I said that Juilliard's DMA program is tailored to well-rounded musicians who like are really good. They're master of one thing, but they're also jack of all trades. So try to play that up. But I forgot to say I wanted to study with Professor Jacobs. So in that way also, I think I botched my audition. I botched my interview. So I really don't think I'm going to go to the final round. I don't think I'm going to get to take the entrance exam. I'll update you as soon as I know. Take care, everyone. Bye.
To audition at Curtis. I'm actually at Macy's, Center City. Here is the Wanamaker organ, and everything is marked down because the store is closing down and they're moving out. And I've been hearing, there's a lot of panic in the organ world, like, oh no, the Wanamaker building is gonna close, and then oh no, the Wanamaker organ's gonna close forever. And like, I don't think that the situation is that bad. Macy's is moving out, yes, but something else is gonna take its place. And the Wanamaker building is on the National Register of Historic Places. So the Wanamaker building will survive, and the Wanamaker organ will survive. The organ isn't actually maintained by Macy's. It's maintained by Friends of the Wanamaker Organ, which is a nonprofit organization that's dedicated to supporting and maintaining the Wanamaker organ so that it remains in use. It is a very famous historical organ.
Hi everyone, I'm walking around Philadelphia. I went to the Curtis Institute of Music today. My audition isn't until tomorrow, and tomorrow they're only giving me 1 hour of practice time. But just for some context, for Curtis, you have to memorize 4 or 5 different pieces for your audition. You have to play it all from memory. For a spot that is hit or very miss, I think there's only 1 opening, and like a ton of applicants. I loved Curtis for the summer organ intensive, but that's different. I applied to this program knowing very well that I may not get it. I may not get in. Maybe very hit or miss. But I probably would not get it. And so I definitely recommend the Curtis Summer Organ Intensive. If you apply and you get in, I highly recommend you go to it. It's great. Friday, March 7th, and I am in the practice room. I was able to get some practice time before the audition, and guess what? Got Christmas lights, all sparkly and shiny, and then we got some ivy and some stockings and other Christmas decorations. Oh, and look over there, Christmas lights. And it's Lent. Ash Wednesday, it was last Wednesday.
Hi everyone, I just want to talk about the Curtis audition a little bit. I got back to Southern California, and once my Curtis audition was done, I had to get up really early and fly back in time for all my church duties. So that was my priority, was getting back in one piece. So the Curtis competitiveness wasn't as bad as I thought it was. Maybe there were a lot of applicants, but only four of us were invited to audition, and it wasn't based on pre-screening recordings. I found out actually that it's based on the materials we submit, like our resume, our concert programs, and I don't remember if we had to submit a personal statement, but there were four of us, all really qualified to be there. And there's one in particular, I think she would fit in really well at Curtis, and it just seems like it's the place that she would really thrive at, more so than me. And I could just feel the Curtis vibes coming off of her because she auditioned after me, so she and I briefly got to talk, and she's really nice. So she definitely deserves to get in. I think that he's gonna pick her. My audition was not perfect, especially in the Bach. I mean, the delay of that organ was so bad, and like the touch was kind of flimsy. And so it was sometimes hard to know exactly what I was doing and where my fingers were. And so I had a few almost, I'm not gonna say train wrecks, but they had the potential to turn into train wrecks, where I had to improvise a little bit of something to get to the next measure. And keep in mind, I had to play everything from memory. Everyone who auditioned for organ at Curtis did. And the organ we had to play was in First Presbyterian Church, so the acoustics were like kind of wet too. So you can imagine how that could have thrown me off. And Professor Morrison did acknowledge this. He acknowledged that there are these difficulties in playing this instrument and doing everything perfectly. So I wasn't able to do everything perfectly, but it's possible that the other applicants did play better than me, or they were able to hide their mistakes better. But at the end of the day, it really is okay, because I think Professor Morrison still has a really hard decision to make at the end, because he has to choose between four wonderful organists, including myself, for maybe 2 spots, but I'm thinking maybe only 1. I know at least one person's graduating. If no one was, they wouldn't be holding any organ auditions. They only hold a tuba audition maybe once every 2 to 4 years, depending on whether they take an undergrad or a graduate student, because Curtis only ever has 1 tuba student at any given time. Organists are a little bit more lucky. They limit enrollment at Curtis to 5 organists. Curtis is the most selective music school in the world, and I did not have my hopes up when applying. It was just kind of a reach it was just kind of I will admit, I kind of applied to Curtis as a last minute afterthought, thinking, well, I'll just give it a shot and see if I can get in. It's not like I'm gonna do this ever again, and I'm just gonna see what happens and see what doors God will open for me. And it was actually a really wise decision to make, because of what happened with Yale and how I did not pass pre-screening there. I did pass pre-screening at Curtis. I didn't even know that they actually had a pre-screening, but apparently they did, and I found that out from a student assistant right before the audition. So you learn something new every day. I'm very grateful they invited me to audition. And of course, but I continued to keep my hopes down, and still am keeping my hopes down. I got into the Curtis Summer Organ Intensive, but that doesn't mean that I'm meant to go to Curtis for a post-baccalaureate diploma. They don't offer a Doctor of Musical Arts, so I applied for the post-baccalaureate diploma program because just that was the program I was thinking of over applying for a second master's degree in organ performance, which is what I'm already getting at the University of Southern California. And I do also think that for that reason, he's not gonna pick me. He's gonna pick someone who needs a master's degree, who needs a master's program. But still, I'm grateful that I got the experience to audition at Curtis, and know that I'm not gonna take it personally if I don't get in. I just was happy about the experience, but and I'm happy about the summer organ intensive, and I'll understand if I don't get in. It's okay. It just means I'm not meant to be there, and that someone else will thrive there. And that is the end of my audition journey. I'm actually very grateful it's over. Unfortunately, I still don't have any results yet, aside from the early rejections from Juilliard and Yale for their pre-screening. Take care, everyone, and I'll be back with audition results whenever those come out.